Hi there, so for this third video, I'm going to show you some kind of bread and butter effect sounds in Massive. First one being the kind of pitch drop sound. So for the pitch drop, what we're going to do is set oscillator 1 to a sine wave, bring the wavetable position to the left so we can just hear the sine wave. Dead easy sound to create. Bring an envelope into the pitch, like so. And we choose, hold down Alt to drag down, how many octaves we want the pitch drop to fall down. We can do this bit of experimentation. So come onto the envelope, and what we can say is, how long is it going to take the pitch to fall down? That's set by the attack time. Because remember, we're moving in a negative direction. So although this is positive, being applied negatively. And the sustain level here is going to determine whether the pitch drop is going to remain at the level it falls down to, or whether it's going to kind of pop back up a little bit. I don't want it to pop back up a bit, so I'm going to keep that all the way to the top, so it's going to stay at 2 octaves down. On the main envelope, bring up the attack and release slightly so we don't have any clicks at the beginning or end of the note. Now, bring that down slightly. On envelope 1, we can now determine the length of the pitch drop using the attack. Could also bring it down so it's even lower in pitch. Basically becomes inaudible. Try adding a bit of reverb to this. It's going to work better in the higher frequency notes. So when we play it higher up the keyboard, because obviously too low, it's just going to sound very, very muddy. And that's the pitch drop. Dead easy to do. So this works great layered underneath maybe one of the big reverb snare sounds that we created in the first video, just to add that low frequency energy to the sound. So next up, let's create a little white noise kind of burst sound. So let's bring up the noise and switch off the first oscillator here. And what I'm going to do with the envelope, I'm going to bring down the sustain level and use a decay to determine how long the noise is going to last for. Okay, I'm going to route this to filter 1, and I'm going to apply a high pass filter so we get rid of some of the lower frequencies present in this white noise. Now the resonance, a bit cleaner. Let's add a bit of reverb on here. Okay, what I'm going to do now is place an LFO on the pan. Speed that up a little bit. And what I could also do is place an envelope on the rate coming down. I can determine how long it takes to come down in speed, and also whether it stays at its final rate that the envelope takes it down to. I'm going to make this a little bit longer actually so we can hear it. Which starts off a little bit fast. We could also add some modulation effects to here, maybe a flanger. And now we've got a nice, interesting, and very wide white noise effect. So finally, create a little riser. So what I've got here is an 8-bar note. I'm going to apply LFO5, the pitch of this note. It's up 2 octaves. Click on sync, and what I'm going to do is use this triangle wave here. I'll set the speed to 16 bars, because what that means is it's going to increase and decrease over 16 bars. But we're only hearing the first portion of that, which means we're only going to hear the increase. I need to bring this up so you can only hear this first portion here, or this first triangle wave. Of course, it would help if I actually set it correctly. So rather than being 1/16, it should be 16/1. You can hear that suddenly jump down in pitch. The reason being that this is the center line, this is the actual note that we're playing on the keyboard. So this actually takes it an octave lower. So I'm going to counteract that, I'm going to bring this up an octave. So I can use this LFO5 now to affect different parameters on massive. So it could be the dry wet amount, the reverb. Could be amount of white noise we hear. I could apply some pan to this sound as well. Could increase the rate of the pan using LFO5 again over 16 bars. Could apply a high pass filter to this sound. Put them both through there. And I could slowly open up the high pass filter. So you can see it's very easy to get a very nice sounding riser sounding massive. And the beauty of doing it this way is you can determine the note that you use. So the reason why I've set it 24 here is it's 2 octaves. And the reason I set it to G, well, let's assume my track's in the key of G. That means that the riser is going to start on the note of G. By the time it finishes over this 8-bar, it's going to increase 2 octaves and it's going to end on the note of G. And for me, that's important because it means I'm keeping that nice coherent musical kind of musicality in the track. So everything's going to be behaving inside the key that I'm writing in, which is great, and especially for very musical music. You know, for progressive house and EDM and electro, things like that. Just, you know, a lot of time very musical. It's good to have things working and kind of all coherent together in the right key. So that's just some bread and butter sounds in massive. So rather than, you know, always, well, it's funny to say that when we're giving away a video series with a effects sample pack, but you know, what we want to do is explain to you how we make the sounds to give you the power to be able to use the sounds on the pack and also build your own sounds. And you know, and you can use a combination of the two. You can layer samples with your own sounds and things like that. So I hope you found this video series with Mainroom FX useful, and hopefully now you can start using some of these techniques to bring your own original effects into your tracks. Thanks very much for watching. Remember, at Sample Tools by CR2, we also offer a mixing and mastering service. All you need to do is go to the CR2 Records website, click on the Store tab, then Studio, and all the information is contained there. Thanks a lot.